Farmer Maggot is a well-respected member of the Shire community. A stubborn and practical fellow who devotes his time to the crops that he grows rather than to the other goings-on in the Shire. It is said that Maggot's crops are the best in all 4 farthings. His carrots are without peer, his cabbages tastier than any others, but it is his mushrooms that are the pride of Maggot's crops. Envied across the Shire especially, as all hobbits are rather fond of mushroom. As Frodo and Sam set out to Bree, they wandered into Maggot's fields, and it just so happened to be the one that Merry and Pippin were intent on raiding themselves. Upon joining up together, the hobbits decide to try and gather some extra provisions for themselves. However, should Maggot's dogs alert him to the actions of the hobbits, then the farmer will no doubt race out to protect his crop. So in this one, the hobbits are going to be after Farmer Maggot's stash. In this case, it's going to be these tasty looking vegetables in the middle. 5 of these over here, and the side of evil will win. I guess in this case the hobbits. I mean, they are stealing, so technically the side of evil. We've got all of the hounds over here, which are currently touching the kennel but can be released to chase the hobbits down. And we've got Farmer Maggot over here, just hanging around, and we'll see what happens. Originally I did do this scenario with a group of friends. That footage has corrupted, or it's been lost, or I can't get to it anyway. So unfortunately, you've just got me in this one. I am planning to do some of the other scenarios with a group of friends, but we have done some already. So I'm going to be redoing those by myself, just going through it as we did. I think we got up to the Barrow Wights, which I will be doing with my group at some point. For now, let's get into this. Let's get the hobbits moving and see what happens. Let's roll priority first. Whole video, we're going to have the Minas Tirith dice representing the hobbits and Isengard for Farmer Maggot. So it is over to Farmer Maggot for this one. So we are over to these good boys over here. We've got Grip, Fang and Wolf. We are going to move those. A massive 8 movement, so that's going to be a pretty big sprint straight away, giving the hobbits some trouble here. Now, as you'll notice here, my big fat arm is in the way. This might be a reoccurrence. It might happen now and again. I can't help it. Well, I definitely could have helped it. I could have filmed it slightly better. In the next video, I do have 2 cameras, so it doesn't appear that much. Just letting you know, most of the time it's not there. Give the hobbits some trouble early on, and then we're going to go over to the hobbits. Again, the aim for the hobbits is get into this patch, get some goodies via vegetables and other tasty things, and get out. This stash is slightly larger than it looks. Don't know why I'm getting 6 ready. Hobbits are only a 4. They've got no might or anything, so there's going to be no heroics either. So we are just going to slide all these hobbits along. Not really much they can do this turn. Next turn they can line up and get some stones into the hounds at least. Once the hounds are wounded, it can alert Farmer Maggot, but it does also put the hounds back in their kennel for a turn at least until Farmer Maggot gets over to them. So end of turn 1, let's jump back to priority. And it's going to go to the side of... I mean, that's a little confusing. We're going to say the side of good for this one is the hobbits. So, I don't think any can actually get into the crops this turn. It is going to be another turn before they can get in, so... Potentially they just shuffle up slightly and get some stones ready. So they can't move at all if they want to throw stones. So I think potentially... maybe we designate Frodo and I think that's Pippin in this case to try and collect things whilst we use these 2 to deal some damage. Nice easy turn there. We're just going to move back to the side of evil so they can get to over here somewhere. And just, yeah, these dogs are just going to sprint at them. We'll move on slightly this way. I know they're painted slightly different to usual, but the white one is actually painted after my stepmother's dog, Honey, so... I regret nothing. I love that dog. It's nice to have a miniature of it. So if you see it and it looks different to the dogs in the movie, or as you've seen other miniatures painted, that is why. That is going to be the end of turn 2 then. Not much action yet, but... oh no, sorry. Probably should do some shooting. So the range is 8, so I'm just going to check that. Yeah, 8 is fine. So we're going to go 2 stones into... after I've just explained why I painted that dog that way. They're both going to go into that. 2 stones thrown. So we're going to need 3s to hit first off. That is 2 hits, and then we're going to need 5s to wound, unfortunately. And it is no wounds. We've got no mites, and no modifications there. It is just going to be to next round. If evil wins this one, which they have, our hobbits could be in some big trouble here. So they can move 8. It depends how intelligent we play them. I'm going to dive this one straight into Pippin. Can these get there? Oh, easily. Can they get to the back as well? Oh no. These poor hobbits. I guess they'll slam into one each and make it interesting. So it's going to be over to combat then. It's 1 dice each, both the same fight. So we'll do Sam and his frying pan versus the first dog. And it's going to be a tie, so it's going to go to a roll-off. Remember, we're counting Farmer Maggot as evil, so 1, 2, 3, they win. 4, 5, 6, Sam wins. It sends strength 2 into defense 3, so it's going to be a 5. And it is a wound. I mean, that's big news, but following the next move phase, we are going to have Farmer Maggot enter the field potentially. Currently, he's just milling around. Technically inside the house. On a 3+, he is going to appear and start to cause some trouble. That big scythe. A little more trouble than these hounds have been so far. Back to combat then. We've got Merry versus a dog. It is going to be a tie again. 1, 2, 3. Evil win, and evil win this one. 3 against 3, so slightly easier for the dogs to wound. And it is going to be a wound. They do get 3 each. So in this case, Merry is going to be pushed back and dealt a wound. I am going to keep near him how many wounds left, just so you guys know, so I know. I'll only add the dice as they're damaged though. And then finally, we've got Pippin versus Honey. Never thought I'd be rooting against Pippin. Oh my god, here we go. It is a win for good. Then to wound, needing a 5. That's a 4, so that's not going to cut it. Dog is going to be pushed back slightly, and it's the end of that round. First off, let's find out who wins priority. It is going to be good. Once good have finished moving, we are going to see if Farmer Maggot arrives. So I think the most important thing to do here is, I think Pippin, unless Sam can get, so Sam could slam into there. All of the dogs and Farmer Maggot do have terror, so we are going to have to roll some courage tests. I think what we're going to do is, it's kind of risky though, because he's already taken a wound. I think we're going to do Merry into this one and then Sam into this one. So we're going to have to roll for Merry first. Merry not quite as courageous as Sam or Frodo, which is debatable. Maybe not debatable for Sam. We're going to need a 6 here. That is really not good. Okay, Sam's only option is to crash into this closest hound then. We're going to need a 4. Just pass, so Sam is going to be able to tie that one up at least. Finally, we're going to need a 6 for Pippin to protect Frodo here, so Frodo can at least get away with some of the stash. And he is going to be short as well, just 1 short. The courage of the hobbits has failed, and we are going to now roll to see if Farmer Maggot arrives. He does not. So over here, Sam manages to get into this. Although Frodo is protected, there's no way the dog can see Frodo, so at least Frodo can get in and do some stuff here. So he only has to just get inside so he can then move away. Okay, yes. What I'm doing here is technically incorrect. I'm technically cheating here. You shouldn't be able to move the same turn you pick one up. You pick it up in your end step. If you do nothing else, you don't fight or shoot. I have brought shame to the Shire. First up, we've got the courageous Sam versus a dog. It's going to be a tie. 1, 2, 3, evil wins. And it is another win for evil. We are going to need a 4+ here. And it's a 6. Absolutely rolling hot here. Not only is Sam pushed back, he's going to go down to 2 wounds. Once they run out of wounds, they're going to flee the battlefield. They're not slain in this scenario. We've just had enough fighting with hounds and Farmer Maggot. They just want to get out of here. We have got Frodo and the other dog. It is going to be a tie. How many ties have we had? 1, 2, 3 to evil, and it's to evil once again. Do they wound? Wounding on 4s. It's not going to be a wound, so it's just going to be a pushback. However, Frodo has been charged, so he is going to drop it an inch from where he is. Hopefully, we're just going to throw it that way slightly, give our hobbits a chance. And Frodo is pushed back as well. So things are really not going well so far for these hobbits. At least Farmer Maggot hasn't arrived. Let's jump into the next round and see where we're at. First things first, priority. And it is going to go to the side of evil. So the other hound actually can't move until Farmer Maggot has been released. So these are going to... this one's going to jump into I'm going to try and keep it thematic. So it was fighting Sam, it's probably going to jump back onto Sam. This one is just going to hound Frodo. Although I'll probably want to play it, what's their best shot? So they probably want to target, not only can Merry grab this and run away, but also already on 2 wounds. So it's actually going to jump into Merry in this case. Again, I think for movement, Pippin is going to dart into there and then start to run back. So he's going to grab the second one. And in this case, I think we're just going to go 4 to here, picking up that on the way. Because Frodo is within 3 of the stash, that first one is going to be placed inside. And they are 1 out of 5 already finished so far. But it's going to be an uphill struggle to get these last ones in. Okay, the hobbits have moved. We roll to see if Farmer Maggot arrives. Still no arrival. This could, I mean, if we can win some fights as the hobbits here, this is going to be a big turn. So we're going to do Sam versus the dog first. It's a tie once again. 6, it's going to go to Sam this time. Needing a 5 to wound. This could be huge. It's a 4. Devastating. At least he's won that one. And then we've got Merry versus the other one. Side of evil again, needing a 4 to wound, no wound, but Merry is once again bested. And here's how we look after that round. A few knockbacks, a few tokens being moved, a few vegetables being collected. Gonna be interesting how this one ends. I think that's all we've got for that one, so back to priority. And it is gonna be a tie. Evil won the last one, so it is gonna be Good's choice. So let's have a look here. What do we do? I think we just need to keep running. We need to try and get some people into these hounds and deal with them. If they can't summon Farmer Maggot, it might just be an easy win for this first one. So we're going to do Sam into the hound closest to him. Needing a 4. He is straight in there. And then we're going to do Merry into the one near him. And he is in as well. They've found some courage. They've seen Frodo and the others collecting stuff and are looking pretty happy for themselves. So Good is not done for yet. We're going to have our heroes charge in. A few wounds on them already, so a little worrying. Pippin and Frodo are just going to keep running the lines. Just curious if Pippin can actually get in to drop off his thing this turn. So it's meant to be 3 inches, and it is just. So Pippin is going to get to drop in his sack of whatever. Potatoes. Let's say they're potatoes, why not? Whilst Frodo is just going to bucket up this way. We do now need to roll to see if Farmer Maggot is revealed. Here we go. And that's a 4, so he is going to be in action this turn. He can't charge. Thankfully, no one anywhere near him anyway. Do think that's a slightly strange rule because I don't know who is going to be anywhere near his house anyway. You just want to get the stuff and get out. I do keep checking the map because I don't know, just the layout and the wording on that just doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe I've got something wrong. Let me know in the comments if I have. Obviously, want to be playing it correctly. It is just meant for fun though, so be kind. Be kind. Obviously, the hounds are currently in combat. This fence isn't supposed to be here, so we're not going to use it to impede him in any way. Farmer Maggot, just a hobbit as well, so he is only going to move the 4. He's just going to get over behind these trees and move towards his kennel. Get his hound going. It's going to take him slightly longer to get into action, but the hound is going to be a lot quicker. And if we do lose another hound in this combat, when he gets to it in the following turn, he's going to get to release 2, so it could be quite useful and a good way to get stuff back into combat here. Let's go to the fights then. We've got Sam versus a hound. How many? I think we've had a tie every time. And it's going to go to evil, wounded on a 4. That is going to be another wound. So not only does Sam take a wound, he's also knocked back. Merry versus the other one. Merry is going to win his, wounded on a 5, and it is a 6. That is going to be a wound, putting our favourite pup back in the pound. Okay, so Farmer Maggot made the right choice. Next turn, he is going to get the choice to reveal, or release, sorry, 2 of the hounds, potentially 3, depending on how this goes. Let's get to priority and see where we're at. Is going to go to the side of evil. So first things first, Farmer Maggot is going to base over here, releasing the hounds, meaning they can, I think it should probably be this side now, can get back into action. The dog can now start moving, or dogs I should say. They can get over here. Farmer Maggot has moved for turn unfortunately, so he's going to be a while getting into combat. With these hounds on their way again, and only 2 Objectives taken so far. Going to be a nail biter of a finish. So let's get back over here and have a look what's happening. You can see those hounds coming in the background there. We're going to go with this hound into, I think it's got to go into Sam. Try and finish off that last wound. For that reason, I think we're going to try and put... Frodo into him because he's got the highest courage, so we need a 4. Need him 4 with Frodo, and that's just enough to get in. Frodo is going to slam into this hound here, and I guess Merry and Pippin are on vegetable duty now. Merry is going to get over here somewhere, and same with Pippin, slightly behind. Probably move more that way, to be fair, to try and get away from those hounds. Obviously, we don't want to see a charge from them this turn. Just out of range there. To kick us off then, we've got the 2 hobbits versus the 1 hound. How is that possible? This hound is absolutely on fire, and it's won. Okay, so obviously it's going to try and strike Sam to finish him off. Needing a 4. Sam lives, just. So despite surrounding him, the hound has pushed them both back. Yeah, things are not looking good. Oh, no, this is not good at all. Back to priority then. They are both good dice. I've lost my head now. And evil win it again. These dice are absolutely crippling for good at the moment. So Farmer Maggot is just going to push through the trees and appear over here. Just out of shot perfectly. Brilliant. And the hounds are just going to race over as close as they can. Just to get into some combat here. Or the following turn at least. This one is going to jump into Sam again. Poor Sam, he's not having a good time of it. And then over to the side of good. So I've just read they're supposed to end their turn in there to grab. I am going to use that as a rule from now on. So we are going to go move here. And he's got end his turn in there. And then we'll go into here as well. Just want to be right on the edge. They have got to end their turn there. We should have done that for the first ones. Although it's looking kind of, I don't know how balanced that would be, because I think these hobbits are going to lose anyway, so I'm kind of glad we at least started playing wrong. Frodo is going to try and slam into, let's go into the same one, let's try and save Sam. What would Frodo do? Why have I rolled 2? Okay, I'm going to count that as the courage roll. Frodo is going to slam into that, and we're going to go into combat, so we're going to get the 2 hobbits versus the hound, and the hound again has... It's going to go to the side of good at least, yeah, I don't know. So we need 5s to take out the hound. The hound is removed. So a big swing there. We're going to get to remove this hound and put it back onto the kennel. I guess I kind of see it now. Now that is back there and Farmer Maggot is going to have to run there to even interact with it. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I think that's fine. Still got 2 hounds, still got some fights. We've still got Farmer Maggot to get into action. Let's roll for priority. So it is going to be the side of evil once again. So, so what does it say? It says, if during the end phase of a turn, any hobbits within the field did not fight or shoot that turn. So if these hounds both jump into here, that does mean they're not going to be able to pick any... Oh no, sorry, it should have been the end turn, so they've already picked this stuff up. But potentially, it could be knocked out of their hands. They have been charged, so it is going to go an inch. He's going to throw his that way. He's going to throw his that way. Just to try and move some stuff out. Farmer Maggot is going to fly over here as well. Still not getting in combat this turn, but if they win priority next turn, he can get into the hobbits. And with those other hounds in there, potentially could be a trap. Over to the hobbits movement then, and... I think Frodo, I mean, they can't actually get into combat. Frodo can at least get here and pick that up. Sam is just going to have to move over here with his 1 wound left and hope, really. Let's go to combats then. We are looking at a hound versus Pippin. Hound wins that one. Wounds on a 4 is going to be a wound. Hound versus Merry. Hound wins that one. Wound on a 4. Not going to be a wound. So Merry is going to lose this one and back up an inch, which is good because now this dog can actually fit there. This guy is going to go that way.
Now I hear you all typing. These walls are just to represent the fences of the patch. Or I don't even think they're fences. It's just meant to be a patch in the middle. I've used these to designate the patch for me. So the hound isn't trapped. There's no extra dice. There's technically nothing there. It's just to box out the area.
just in case you were wondering on not rolling extra dice and stuff for being trapped.
Let's go to priority and see though. Is going to go to the side of good. Whilst very important to get priority, the fact that they've got terror just makes this so much more difficult. They did fight that turn, so they can't pick up an objective. Frodo's got one there. Frodo's just going to have to haul some ass back. He can get to here. It's going to be important where he can get to, because is that within 3? I'm going to say that's just out, so that is not good. Sam can get to his and slightly back, so we're going to put Sam there. Merry and Pippin are just going to have to brave this one and slam into the hounds. So we're going to need some courage here. That's going to get Merry in and Pippin. Pippin fails. Extremely bold move there. I probably should have checked how many attacks Farmer Maggot gets first. At most it's got to be 2, right? Although potentially if it is 2, let me just have a look. I mean, I've got the book here. Farmer Maggot, 2 attacks. So potentially Merry could be knocked out this turn. That might have been a mistake. The other hound, I guess, is just going to slam. Oh no, sorry, Pippin already moved into that one. So it's just going to be combat then. So let's do the hound and Farmer Maggot first. Oh my god. Merry, to save the day, might actually take Farmer Maggot out. So that is going to be that's going to be a worry. We can't strike it. So we're going to have to go for the hound. Wounded on a 5. It is a 5. That is massive. That's going to be put back to the kennel. Currently the kennel, a couple of the hounds back there. Only one in combat with Farmer Maggot, so maybe the hobbits can maneuver around him and win this one. It's going to be close. That's not the only combat though. We've got Pippin versus a hound. Pippin wins. If he can wound here, this is going to be a massive swing. Not quite. I think that's fine. Let's go to priority then. All fights are done. Is going to be to the side of good here. So let's see what we can do. Obviously, Frodo is just going to move an inch and drop that in. I don't know if he can move afterwards. I think he can just drop it as a free. May voluntarily drop when in base contact with the stash. Sam is just going to have to sprint back. As far as he can anyway. With his final wound and the 4th objective. We are going to need some more courage from this lovable duo. So we are going to try and slam Merry into Farmer Maggot and Pippin back into this hound. Merry gets in comfortably. Pippin gets in comfortably. Both in quite comfortably there. So that's going to be the only fight we get this round. Let's jump into some combats. Farmer Maggot versus Merry first. It's going to be a tough one. And he's done it again. Merry finding some courage here to fight back. Really wanting that sack of potatoes for himself. Wounding on a, definitely not a 2. Let's go to Pippin then. 1 dice versus 1 dice. It is going to be to the hound. Wounded on a 4. It's going to be a 3, so it's just going to be a pushback. The pushback is going to mean Farmer Maggot is just being forced out of this this little hut here. The fact that they keep getting into combat though does mean currently there's no way they can pick up that last objective. So they are going to have to deal with Farmer Maggot and get someone else to run out. So they're going to have to get rid of this last hound. Back to priority then. And it is going to go over to the side of good. So let's have a look what we can do here. So we've got to be within 3 inches. So like here. So he can go 1 to there. Drop his off into the stash. Frodo is going to have to make his way up here to help out next turn. And again, we're going to try and slam these hobbits into some fights. Let's go Merry into... Let's do the same again. Merry and Pippin. Farmer Maggot and the hound. Merry is going to get in comfortably. Pippin, he's struggling. He has been struggling. I think the hound's going to dash into him anyway, just to give him some trouble. Merry is going to move back into a fight, which he could potentially flee from. Let's find out how it goes. Let's roll that fight first then. Farmer Maggot is going to tie, I'm guessing, slightly higher fight value with that giant scythe. Same fight value. Okay, so it is going to go to a roll off. 1, 2, 3 for evil. Merry wins again. Again, can't wound Farmer Maggot, so no point of rolling. Just going to push him back an inch. And then it's Pippin versus the hound. Hound is going to win again. Wounded on a 4, no wounds though. Currently, there's Pippin and Farmer Maggot being pushed back here. It's going to go to priority again then. That's out of the thing, but I think it's fine. Good are going to win this one. Sam slightly out of shot here, so let's get him into some action. Get him up next to Frodo, just a turn behind. Frodo is going to slam into this hound here. So we're going to need a courage check, and we're going to send Merry back into Farmer Maggot. So Merry first. Oh, Merry's failed. That's an important turn. We're going to have to try Pippin into him. Just enough. Pippin to save the day, and then Frodo into the hound. This is important here. He is going to get in, so we are going to have Merry able to get that final objective at least. So Pippin is going to have to go here, and Frodo is going to jump into the hound. Merry not in any kind of fight or throwing stones or anything this turn, so he is going to be able to grab the objective at the end of the turn. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Let's go into some combats then. So we'll do Merry versus Farmer Maggot first. Is going to be a comfortable win for... No, not Merry, sorry. It's Pippin this time. Pippin is going to just knock him back. Obviously can't wound him. Slowly being pushed back further and further. And then we've got Frodo versus a hound. It is good. Oh, that's cocked. It's going to go to the side of good. Wounded on a 5. No wounds for Frodo. So you can see Farmer Maggot just being pushed further and further back here. The hound is going to be pushed back. Merry, yeah, it is Merry. Merry is going to grab that objective because he wasn't in a fight. And then it goes to priority. If good win this priority, they realistically can just run this one out. Have their characters tie stuff up. The only way it could fail is if the hound is only tied up by Sam and then he kills Sam or slays Sam and then is able to run into Merry and slow him down, or Pippin, whoever carries it. So let's go to priority then. This could be a big one. It is over to good as well. The rolls have really left the side of evil here. Obviously, Merry is just going to run as far as he can. Just carry this thing out of here. We're going to do Frodo into the hound, Pippin into Farmer Maggot, and Sam into the hound as well. Like I say, if we can get some of these, I think that does just wrap the game up. Frodo into the hound. That is going to be in. Sam into the hound. Has failed. That is surprising. And then finally, Pippin into Farmer Maggot is going to get in as well. So going into combat, it's going to look like this. We've got Frodo and Pippin here. Let's do Pippin versus Farmer Maggot first. And Farmer Maggot is going to win this one, so this one could be slightly more interesting. Strength 3 against Defense 3. So we're going to need a 4. 4 on 2 dice. Ooh, that could have been a KO there. It does look like we're going to get out with no casualties. Maybe missing that early rule has made it slightly too easy. I don't know. This is the first step in the campaign. It's not meant to be the most difficult. It's just a bit of fun. We are going to go through them anyway because I do... Although I love the big spectacles in Lord of the Rings, these little moments just really make it for me. So yeah, we're going to play through them anyway. Hopefully you enjoy them. If not, we've got some bigger combat ones coming up. Obviously we've got the Watcher and other things. There's some very exciting stuff to come in the Fellowship. Let's go Frodo into the hound here. Frodo wins that one. That's going to be a 5 to wound. And it is going to be a wound. So that is, I think that's just pretty much the end. There's nothing to chase the hobbits now. We'll roll priority here just for the sake of it. It's going to be a tie, so it's going to go to evil. So, I mean, Farmer Maggot can move into Pippin. But then we've got Merry here that can just run in that final objective. No way to stop him. It is going to be a victory for the hobbits. I've had a ton of fun playing this. I've got all of the other ones ready. I'm going to play through Quest of the Ringbearer and then move into some of the other ones. If you want to see more of it, you got any suggestions or maybe particular ones you want to see played, more than happy to do that. Like I say, I will be doing some of the more combat orientated ones, the bigger spectacles with some friends. We did Barlin's Tomb at some point. I'm going to do a little more editing and yeah, just make the video a little more interesting for these other ones. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments below. If you've made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.